Hi everyone, I hope you're having a really great week. A few weeks ago, maybe it's a few months. It's been a while, and I can't believe we're already halfway through the year. I released an article called my CI Toolbox, and that's my continuous improvement toolbox. I'd like to maybe talk a little bit more about that in video. But what's interesting is when I think of a toolbox, and I hope everybody else thinks similar, is like a plumber that uses a toolbox. When you call a plumber, if you have a problem with your plumbing or having a water leak, a plumber doesn't know exactly where the problem is or what tool he's going to use until they get in there. And that's what I like to think about with continuous improvement. And when I'm working with my different clients, each client in pretty much every situation is very unique to the client. While we do are able to use some of the best practices that I've learned through my 13 years doing continuous improvement, I like to approach each client as a unique perspective, meaning that I don't know which tools I'm necessarily going to use. I do have a set of tools that I do use, like, process mapping or value stream mapping, doing Gemba walks, and of course, problem solving and brainstorming. But I don't know exactly what the rest of the tools I'm going to use until I get in there and understand what the problem is. And the only way to understand that problem is really working with my clients and their teams. And then, in fact, instead of staying working, I like to partner with them because I like to guide them through that that continuous improvement journey so we can figure out what's causing the problems within their business, which majority of the time is something within the business processes. But then, what do we do to fix that? And there are so many different ways to fix the problems that they're very unique to the client. And what I do is I walk them along that journey to the point where we, understand what the current state is, and then we understand what the current state is with the process maps and the value stream maps. But then we also do root cause analysis, and that can either be using data analysis or just using some of the lean techniques that we have, or just really just getting in there and doing some brainstorming. And in addition, then when we start to move forward and start to do improvements, have to do some hypothesizing there, lead them through some brainstorming, problem solving techniques, and we might even just use some of the lean techniques. I mean, as you can see, there's so many different ways to approach the problem that it is very unique to each one of my clients. So when I've had people in the past ask me what tools do I use when I'm coming in, that's usually the explanation I say is that I walk you along that journey and I'm partnering with you and your teams to understand what exactly is going on and figure out what the exact problems are before we even start solutioning, because I think that's the best way to approach it, regardless if you're just doing process improvement, implementing any type of AI or technology. We really have to understand what the core of those problems are before we start, solving. So we have to dig through all our toolbox to really understand what the problems are. Because a lot of times, if you have, a lot of calls coming into your call center, or if your sales are declining, or if your customers are very upset, or you're having a high employee turnover, those are usually the symptoms of the problem. Kind of like like the same thing when you go to a doctor, right? Sometimes you go because you have a symptom, but there's usually an underlying problem that's causing that. So that's how I like to use my continuous improvement toolbox. I really just like to work with my clients that come in with my toolbox. And as we start to go through and uncover what's going on and then developing solutions, I bring out the right tools for the right time. What do you guys think? Do you use continuous improvement in your business, or within your job? Do you use the different tools depending on the situation? Or would you like to learn more how you can do that within your business? Leave me a message below, or send me a private message, and have a great rest of the week.